What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is the Two Guys, One Futon podcast now,
Yeah, we had to change our name from the lunch break.
formerly known as the Lunch Break Podcast.
I think the two guys, one futon works better.
It's more fitting. Plus,
Yeah.
there's less people using the same name.
Yeah, that's
Zero
gonna be
to
a
be
rare name.
Right. So, it's almost New Year's, David. You got any resolutions?
Quit energy drinks.
Energy drinks? That's a
Yeah.
good one. I need to get off that shit, too. What about masturbating?
Maybe one day. Not this year. I don't think it's a good year for that.
Yeah, I know. You can't give up too many things at once.
No,
right?
you'll go insane.
So what's our topic today?
Our topic today is there's been a couple foods that have been created to stop masturbation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how somebody thought that was like a link.
But you are what you eat, so.
You're biting into a juicy burger. Oh!
Or a hot dog. That'd get me going.
Now I just need to go masturbate.
Oh, you know what this hot dog looks like? I need to use the restroom real quick.
I'll be
May I
right
be
back.
Excuse, Mom.
No more hot dogs for you.
More hot dogs.
So there was a guy named Dr. Kellogg, and he was a part of
Are we talking the Kellogg's Kellogg?
the Kellogg's,
Okay.
the Cornflakes Kellogg's.
All right.
He, before all that was invented, he was a part of like an anti-masturbation crusade. He believed that masturbation was a sin.
And they crusaded against
Possibly.
masturbation.
Even he believed that masturbation was such a sin that he wouldn't even sleep with his wife.
What?
He never consummated his marriage. Like, he never slept with his wife.
Never had sex ever at all?
Never at all.
What the fuck?
He even made his wife sleep in a different room.
Oh, I can see a reason behind that, but on a few nights a week, at least she should be in your room.
Like, what? I don't know what made her want to marry a guy like that. Like, that's
Did he
a
have
little
money?
random. I mean, he's a doctor, so I'm assuming
Okay.
so.
Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense, I guess.
She's,
then.
she's sleeping with other people.
Oh, yeah. She's getting it somewhere.
Yeah. They even adopted kids because they never
Oh,
had.
yeah? How would you?
Yeah. He
Okay.
was so against it.
So then what did he do? Like, he decided to make food
Well-
to help you not masturbate?
Back in the 18th and 19th century, people were... the Western world was in a little bit of a panic about people touching themselves. They believed it was bad.
Okay.
I want to know, like, how does that even pop up? Like, were people just, like, crazily masturbating in the streets? And they're like, this is gonna end.
Look at this.
You're walking down the street and you step in somebody's semen and you're just like,
Why is it so sticky in here?
I'm tired of this. I'm so tired of this.
They're masturbating everywhere.
Everywhere, dudes jerking out on the windows.
I can see how that could be a
The
problem.
Western world's like, I can't take it anymore.
But it couldn't have been like that. I mean,
No.
why are they so worried about it? How do they even know that people are masturbating?
That's
that
what I
much?
want to know. Maybe that was like, I'm assuming somehow they didn't understand it because sex wasn't really talked about back then like it was today.
For sure.
Like today we know masturbation's a healthy thing and
Most of
it
the
could
time.
even prevent colon cancer and things like that.
Colon or prostate?
Prostate. I think it was prostate. Yeah,
Yeah,
prostate
okay.
cancer. So now, back in the day when people were like, why do I have this sudden urge to just do this? Why is this happening to me? And I think it was like the devil taking over them, like it was a heinous act.
So it was them just reflecting on their own behavior and their own desires.
Yeah, so they probably went to a doctor and they're like, all right, why is this happening?
And the doctor said it was evil and that you had
Yeah.
ghosts in your blood.
The demon's in your boy. He's making you masturbate.
I won't tell my doctor, like, anything personal. So I don't get why you'd go to the doctor and be like, I've been masturbating a lot or having urges.
I haven't been to the doctor in a while.
And definitely not to tell them about your masturbation.
Oh yeah, like how weird of a conversation would that be? Just like, doctor's like, how you doing? You're like, oh, I masturbate 5 times a day, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
If there was anything going on with my dick, I would just, I don't know, it'd have to be so bad for me to go to a doctor.
Yeah,
I remember
definitely.
I played football in 7th grade for some reason. I was like 4'11" and 80 pounds, so I shouldn't have been on a football field. But anyway, I had to go in and get a physical, and that was like the first time I had the hands down my pants cough thing. He didn't like grab my balls. He just like put his like cupped my inner thigh so that his hand was like
against
resting beside my balls, and I guess when you cough, the balls move or whatever they're supposed to do. But that's pretty awkward as a teenage boy to have a doctor's hand down your pants.
Mine was way worse. Like,
did you do a physical?
I didn't do my first physical until I was in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah, because I never played sports in high school.
Right.
So then I go into my doctor's, and he's like, all right, we're gonna do a physical, because it was like my first. I started like regularly going to the doctor.
Yeah.
So it was my first visit. He's like, pull down your pants. So I just took off my pants and I left my boxers on. And he bends down and then he just grabs my underwear and just goes, bloop. And my eyes just were like, whoa, bro, what are you doing? And then he starts touching me and I'm like, oh, I guess this is a physical. And then he starts talking about football. I'm like, man, I don't even watch football. Like, this is so
You're trying to like have a football conversation while then you don't watch football while some guy's playing with your parts.
So it was just it was just awkward, dude. I get he was trying to make me comfortable, but when you don't know shit about football and a dude's touching your balls,
that doesn't make you any more comfortable.
No, it was very awkward.
So did he tell you needed to eat more cornflakes?
Back on to that. He said I masturbate too much. Somehow he knew that. I'm just kidding. He said the demon's in you, boy. You don't watch football.
You don't watch football. All you do is sit around and masturbate.
You masturbate too much to watch football, don't you? You sick bastard. You're going to hell.
You got a real problem.
You got some issues. So, anyways, his name was John Harvey Kellogg. And this dude was uncomfortable talking about sex. He believed that it was masturbation and sex was detrimental to your physical and emotional health, which I can see it being a problem. Like, yeah, there is problems where if you go through your whole day and that's all you think about.
Sure.
And you're like sneaking off to go masturbate.
Just like anything, there's some
constantly watching porn. Like, it could be bad.
Yeah, there's sex addicts. There's all kinds of problems related to that. But I mean, I'm guessing almost 100% of guys masturbate, and women's probably is high too, but I mean, I'm sure women not as often, but you know, the majority of people that masturbate don't have any problem with sex addiction or anything like that. But this guy thinks it's the devil. Basically.
Yeah, he thinks that you're going to hell, it's a sin, God's going to spite you for.
So how did it translate to cornflakes? When did that come about?
Well, that came about a bit later because one of the things that he first started making, like cornflake cereals, or not cornflake cereals, what was it? He made like a granola, and it was called oatmeal and cornmeal baked into biscuits, and then they were ground into like tiny little pieces, so like granola, but he called it like Granula.
And was the plan for it to be an anti-masturbation food to begin with? Or was that like...
It was kind of like... it was eventually leading into that. It was because he believes that certain flavorful foods like seasoned foods or meats and things like that increased your sexual desire. So he started creating foods that were bland, had no taste, because he believed it would help not give you that sexual desire.
So foods that are good...
Exactly.
Are bad.
Pretty
when
much.
When it comes to masturbating.
And, I'm telling you, this guy was so serious about this that it said that on his honeymoon, he even worked on his anti-sex book during his honeymoon.
Like, well, if you're not having sex, what else are you going to do? Write an anti-sex book while you're supposed to be having sex?
I mean, his poor wife. So, Kellogg even wrote himself that if illicit commerce of the sexes is a heinous sin, self-pollution is a crime doubly abdominal? Is that how you say that?
If illicit commerce of the sexes is a heinous, what does that say, sin?
Yes.
Kellogg wrote, self-pollution is a crime doubly abominable?
That's what I would say.
Abominable. I can't, it's small writing, I can't read it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So they're saying if selling sex is a sin, then getting off yourself is twice as bad? How does that make any sense?
I have no idea.
Who is this freaking guy? Where does he come up with this stuff?
He even did a study where
he was a doctor. That's right.
Yeah. He cataloged over 39 different types of symptoms that were caused by masturbation.
So this guy spent a lot of time thinking about masturbation.
Yeah. So a dude that has no interest in sex definitely had interest in sex.
He must have had the devil in him, and that's why he's trying to fight what's inside of him. So he spends all his time saying why it's so bad.
He said that masturbation causes mood swings, bad posture, stiff joints, and even epilepsy.
Epilepsy, yeah.
Epilepsy. Like, this dude was off his wagon.
Jesus.
And I think for somebody to be this nuts, he had to have been touched as a kid or something bad. He had a bad uncle. His uncle did something pretty messed up to him.
I'm sure psychologists would agree that somebody with this attitude about sex must have some sexual trauma.
That's got to be a sexual trauma. Like, there's no way you're just, like, growing up. And, like, how did he feel as a teenage boy? He was like, how does that work?
I mean, I'm sure he must have masturbated at some point as a teenager. Maybe. I mean, how could he have known this stuff unless his parents were forcing it down his throat, you know?
Yeah, that could be it, too.
That's the only other thing, is if you were, like, indoctrinated into believing all this nonsense. But where did it come from initially? Like, somebody had to have started, if that were the case, and his parents gave it to him, then, I mean, who, I don't know.
I know there was a guy before him named Graham, and Graham is the guy who created graham crackers.
Right.
But that was without the sugar in them.
Was it an anti-masturbation thing?
It was kind of an anti-masturbation thing. Graham he did some good things. He was a giant anti-masturbator too. And he believed that sex more than a month, or like once a month, was just psychotic. You were fucking crazy. But Graham created, like, he's one of the guys who created one of the first healthy diets of, like, fruits and nuts and vegetables.
So he did some good stuff.
He did some good things. He got people eating well, but then he was a little off his rocker too, man. Like,
what is it with these? So this is graham crackers. That guy.
And they didn't even become graham crackers while he was alive. Like,
really?
He ended up just, like, putting them on the shelves of the stores.
Nobody wanted the anti-masturbation food.
Yeah, and he didn't market it. Like, he just left it alone. So he was poor when he died, and he died like 55. But nobody wanted it, and then eventually people started selling it and adding sugar to it, and then they called it the graham cracker. And
interesting.
Yeah, so that was a fun little fact. But he was the disciple from him. So he
Kellogg was?
Yeah, so I think Kellogg maybe looked into his work a little bit and was like, oh, that makes sense. I'm just going to run with that.
This is a good idea.
He's like, this guy was so fucking crazy. He only had sex once a month. I'm never going to have sex.
Fuck that, I'll top that. I'm never going to masturbate, no sex, no nothing.
Nothing.
Just bland cornflakes and graham crackers.
He's like, forget this. Anyway, so he ended up creating his first, like, bland food, and it was called Granula. But there was another guy named James Caleb Jackson, who was another dietary reformer, who had that name before. He named his product Granula, so he threatened to sue Kellogg.
Right.
So then that's where granola comes from. So Kellogg created...
He created the term granola?
Yeah.
Well...
Which granola, to me, is delicious.
Yeah,
but that
absolutely.
might be because we added a little bit of sugar to it and raisins and some other good
Nowhere
things,
near,
depending on what you have.
Nowhere near the bland crap that he was making, but...
So, I mean, he did some good things. Yeah. Like, he created some crazy things that were good.
All in the vein of getting people not to masturbate with the food, though.
Yeah.
Not to masturbate with the food, but using the food to stop you from masturbating.
Exactly. One of his other innovations, like, this dude was off his rocker. He developed a machine that would ensure clean intestines, and it was an enema machine that ran water through your bowel and then followed it with a pint of bland yogurt.
In your ass? Yogurt
half in your ass and half in your mouth.
Separate tubes, I hope.
I hope. He's just like, oh, done with that one. Boop. No,
well, I mean, enemas are still a thing. I don't know what they're for, except I guess just cleaning you out. But yeah, I don't get the yogurt. What was the point of that?
I think it's just his way of saying, like, maybe it gets to your colon faster. So to make it, It was like a super anti-masturbation machine. It's like you have the urge to
Oh, so
masturbate.
the yogurt was also up the ass to make you not masturbate?
I'm assuming that's what it was. I mean, it makes sense. Like,
I guess a guy that doesn't masturbate's gonna be into some weird shit.
Yeah.
I gotta have yogurt up my ass.
like, have you ever had
twice a day.
plain yogurt? It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It tastes terrible.
Yeah.
Like, not flavored. It's disgusting. So
Right.
maybe that was his thing. And I know, like, coffee. You ever hear those people who do coffee enemas? Supposedly it's
No.
like... Yeah, dude, it's
Really?
a legit thing. Like, there's a bunch of people who shove, like, this weird bag of coffee and with a tube, and they sit in the morning and shove coffee up their ass, and it like supposed to give
This
you like
gets me going.
a
Yeah.
crazy
Well,
caffeine rush,
You
like
get the caffeine right in there. I mean, lots of people put drugs and
boofing.
yeah,
Yeah, they boof
butt
'em.
chugging,
Yeah, butt
boofing
chug.
drugs and butt chugging. Chase it with the butt chug.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but I heard kids were fucking like dipping tampons and alcohol and then shoving it up their ass.
Yeah, I've heard that was an old like classic trick of alcoholics and people that wanted to get drunk during the day without anybody knowing, like up the ass and or if you're a woman in your vagina.
I just feel like that would hurt.
It probably would
feel
hurt.
Like it
I
would
don't
burn
know.
your.
And how
You're
do you
putting it
like
inside,
regulate?
inside.
You just dip it into a bottle of vodka and
You're
then
just-
shove it up there and hope for the best.
I wonder what's gonna happen today.
It's like you're walking around totally shit faced, but you don't smell like alcohol at all. So people are like, "What's wrong with this fucking guy?"
They were like, this guy's tweaking bad, man. Anyways, back on topic. So later down the road, Kellogg ended up creating a few different kinds of flaked grain foods, breakfast cereals, and the one that we classically know today as cornflakes. He created cornflakes. It was bland, and it was an I can't say it. Masturbatory morning meal.
Okay.
So he wanted you to eat it in the morning, so you didn't think about masturbation during the rest of the day.
Yeah, you gotta get started in the morning.
And I don't. This can you imagine the commercials? Like, have you seen
Yeah,
like cereal
man.
commercials growing up as kids? It's like, does your son have a problem? Is he stuck in his room?
Timmy, what are you doing?
Using all your lotion and tissues.
You going through thousands of dollars of lotion a month because your son can't stop masturbating?
Buy cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
The anti-masturbatory meal.
You got Tony the Tiger coming in. They're great at making you not masturbate.
He's got a pair of blue balls.
Yeah, that should have been the cereal, the blue ball cereal.
Blue balls. That's what he should have
That's
called
what the blue
it.
balls in the fruity. I guess it wasn't Fruity Pebbles. What's the other one with the rabbit?
Oh, tricks are for
yeah.
kids.
Yeah, those blue balls. Those were the anti-masturbation.
I never understood tricks for kids either. Like, why wouldn't they ever just share with their rabbit? It's kind of jacked up.
I don't know.
If I was that rabbit, I would have just beat the hell out of those kids and took some of that.
Yeah.
Like, they're always hitting him or treating him like
Right.
crap. Man. Alright, it's messed up. So anyways, after he created cornflakes, he partnered with his brother Will, and he wanted to sell them. He partnered with him to make sure that he sells them to the public, but Kellogg wanted to sell it to the public for the anti-masturbation effect.
Right.
But his brother did not care about that at all, and he's like, "Well, I think we should add sugar to these because these are just disgusting. Nobody's gonna want to eat these, and nobody's gonna buy them if you call them
Yeah.
anti-masturbation foods."
Yeah, obviously.
So what Will did is he went and just put sugar on them, and then his brother despised him and hated him, and then eventually Will left and made the Kellogg Company, which has the sugared cornflakes.
So it wasn't Dr. Kellogg that made the company. It was his brother
His
took
brother
his
did.
idea and basically stole it and made it good with sugar. And,
Yeah, with millions of dollars. Billions probably by
Yeah.
now.
Oh, huge. Over the years, probably
Yeah.
tens of billions, you know.
Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, I can't even think. I don't even know any other cereal making company except for Kellogg. Kellogg's by name, at
Oh,
least.
yeah, that's hard.
You know, maybe some of the other ones are
You know what
private or whatever.
anti-masturbation cereal is?
What?
All the off-brand
Yeah,
cereal.
that's
It's fucking
exactly
disgusting,
right.
dude.
You're too depressed to, after eating that shit to masturbate anyway.
Yeah. You're like, I got no money. I had to eat this bottom of the barrel shit.
My
Tastes
friends are all
terrible.
making fun of me. I don't know what tricks are. Fuck, I'm eating the fucking rando berries, you know. Rando berry cereal.
Man, I didn't know what Cheerios were until I was like 16. I was eating Oreos most of my life.
Did you ever, like as a kid, did your parents ever buy the off-brands?
All the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a lot of those too.
I hated it, dude. Now, when I first moved out, I was like, man, I'm buying the fucking good cereal.
I'm getting that good.
Yeah, I don't give a shit if it costs $2.50 a box.
It's $2.50 a box.
It's $2.50
like
a box.
Yeah, $1.50.
A box of that'll last me like 4 days, 5 days if I'm lucky.
I always like how they do this in better cereals, but like the good cereals mainly come in a box, and then the like cheap brands, they come in like a dog food bag size. It's like, we know that you're on a budget, so we're gonna give you this like 10-year supply for $10.
You know, a lot of that is just like the bottom of the barrel stuff. That's like the same cereal almost, but it's like a lot of it's the bottom of the barrel.
They're like, we have all this brown like flaky shit.
Yeah,
let's just put
it's
that
the
in
bad
bag.
stuff that they take out of the good batches,
All right.
and then they just probably push it in a bag, and they're like,
that makes sense. That
That's
makes
why
it a
it
better
tastes, like,
deal
terrible.
then. Well, yeah, it probably tastes bad because of that, but
like,
at least it's the
was it
same.
Honey Grams or whatever? What are those little? They look like little peanut cereal.
Yeah.
Golden Grams.
Right.
So like Honey Smacks. I don't know. I don't even know which.
That was an off-brand?
I think so.
I never heard of that one.
I always ate Honey Smacks, and it came in a bag.
Honey Smack for kids.
When your husband's so poor and you buy the good shit, he smacks.
Yeah, you buy this,
Honey
you're getting smacked.
Buy the bag shit, bitch.
Oh yeah, Honey Smack's what you get if you buy the good shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. I didn't know what real cereal tasted like till I was older, and I was like, damn, this is good shit, man. But in all reality, it is pretty bad for you. Like, it's just
and
you're
it makes
starting
you
your
masturbate
day
like
off.
crazy.
Yeah, like every time I ate Frosted Flakes, I went and masturbated.
Can't even finish a bowl without running to the bathroom.
I don't know what it was. It was all that sugar, delicious
that
sugar.
gets the devil inside you going. That's devil fuel. It's funny how every cereal is just like a delivery system for sugar. I mean, they're all basically flavored with the same thing.
Like, there's literally a
is just
cereal that's fucking cookies. Like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Are you ready, kids? Are you ready to start your day? Here's a bowl of fucking chocolate chip cookies.
Just sugar and chocolate, which is in turn more sugar.
And in the what is subliminal messaging in the back? All you hear is sugar, sugar, sugar,
Sugar. Eat more sugar.
eat more sugar. But tell your mom to buy you this.
It's amazing how much sugar there is in everything. Like, you've seen those videos or pictures where they show like how many grams of sugars in a Coke or whatever. It's like 47 or something.
Yeah.
It's like a bag or a cup this full with freaking sugar.
Yeah,
Quarter
imagine
of a
how much
cup.
sugar. I wonder what would be a good test one day is just to like write down everything you eat for one day, and then take a bag of sugar and just pour it into a cup or like a thing just to see how much sugar you intake
Imagine
from
how
one day.
much in a week or in a month or even in a year you'd fill like a trash can full of sugar with just what you eat. It's insane. Like, I do the sugar-free energy drinks, which are probably 10 times as bad in other ways, but
Yeah, I think that.
a regular energy drink, like a quarter of the can is just sugar. If you were
Oh God, Monsters, dude! I never drink Monsters, but I had one the other day because the store didn't have the ones I wanted. And I look on the back and it's like 40 something or something ridiculous.
and that's per
amount of,
serving too. Those Monsters have like 2 servings per can, so it's probably pushing 100.
I was like, that is so gross. Like,
Yeah.
and I taste it. I'm like, this is so sweet because I don't drink soda pop or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it. We learned something new today.
So you got to lay off those sugary cereals and go to bland food if you want to slow down your masturbation in the year 2020.
If you want to quit masturbation or you're a sex addict, you could either buy the normal cornflakes or the sugar-free graham crackers.
Or the off-brand crap. That'll help you slow her down. Anyway, this is the Two Guys, One Futon podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm David.
And we're out.
Peace.
Guys, one